Hi, everybody. This is Rick Costa, and it's August 25th, 2024. We have Mike Pickering today, who is our guest reader, and then we'll have an open mic afterwards. Mike Pickering is a 64-year-old father and husband. In addition to poetry, he's a songwriter. He says, I've been writing poetry and song lyrics for over 25 years. He is a teacher consultant to the National Writing Project with a specialty in poetry and creative narrative. He's also a retired elementary school teacher. He loves long walks with his wife, and he heads back to the beach and the mountains at every opportunity that he can. He's a winner of the Award of Merit in the International Poetry Contest put on by the Atlantic Review. And he's also been published in the Rattlesnake Review, Late Peaches, Sable and Quill, and the most recent edition of Voices. Mike, welcome.
Great, thank you. Now I read about 3 or 4 poems. Is that right?
Oh, you have three or four poems, and then we'll just sort of open up if people want to jump in
Okay.
and ask questions, comment, or whatever.
Oh yeah. Okay. Great.
People usually like snap their fingers or do like silent clapping or something.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. All right. So I'll go ahead. This first poem is called Sunday's Wild Children. It's about the difference between people who go to church to honor the sacred and so forth, and those just kind of go to the woods and the ocean and the forest. So it's called Sunday's Wild Children. Bonnets and straw hats dapple the crowd as they float atop the river of early morning worshippers who meander down their way down quiet streets and past empty parks. While the sun rose, lives were being renewed, tuning themselves to the utterances streaming forth from the pulpits of churches. The churches ripen as the warmth left by congregations fades. They leave to spend the rest of the Lord's day on the banks of the rolling river. They watch as Sunday's wild children baptize themselves freely down where the water flows and blesses their young spirits. The river partakes in her sacred journey down from the mountains to the salty scented blues of the mighty sparkling ocean. Great, thank you. All right, this one's called Tale of the Night. The night has escaped from warming places of the world and huddles around me. She shelters me from the heated breath of the sun, wraps me in the mystery of her deep melodic music. Dark, moody rhythms settle me into my bed, my spirit a candle of light. My body slumbers under warm, familiar blankets, and as dreams come to life within my sleeping mind. The day has been gently pushed aside beyond the oceans, which rise subtly and surely into foaming white crest. The day now casts lines of shadows, hides blue, salty water from the moon's eternal, shimmering light. Out across this deep purple and blue ocean, rippling, muscular trees and sleeping children breathe life into one another. Mountains rest one upon the other. The lights of the great cities sparkle and dance under great oceans of clouds. The restful slumber of the living eases us out and into the imagined realms we are bound for. In this heavenly existence, in this heavenly existence, time blossoms forth moment by moment, in a breath, a heartbeat at a time. Just said. Okay, this next one is called, it's about sunrise and sunset. It's called Plums in the West, Pomegranates in the East. The shining day ends, a ripened sun settles herself into plum-tinted whipped cream clouds of the west. She puts away her rusty orange and lemon-colored lights, leaves a moving patch of shadow across the verdant earth. Blackberry carpeted skies dotted with snowflake twinkles of stars. The lovely luminescent pearl of the moon rises from the far horizon with her popcorn-colored surface. The gentle people now sleep, their children in the comfort of even a simple patch of earth for a bed. Dreams sprinkled over them in splashes of blue and green hints of seawater, turning into a frothy mist. The ocean rains her magic upon slumbering bodies. Now, nighttime notions, dreams liberate our bodies, our hearts sing, our minds imagine subtle healing wonders arriving before them each, before them all, and graciously so. In her best humor, Earth turns the healing sun, drifts lazily with pomegranates of clouds, arriving once more in the east. A new day, a new dream, a new dance to begin.
I love your use of color there.
Oh, thank you.
Really
Thank you.
love that.
I do a lot of writing about nature. It's kind of my way of being an environmentalist, and open up people to the beauty that we find out there.
Mhm.
This one is called While in Paradise You Rest. When the blue moon settled behind your silhouette, standing in the garden outside of our bedroom, our cat, fragile, old, and elegant, climbed onto a branch and sat there above you, her eyes shining like two tiny golden suns in front of the pearl white of the dipping moon. In the pendulum sway of her tail, the rhythms of time hung as she sat purring in the moment. I lay in this room filled with costly trappings. I looked to you in your serenity, shadowed by the pale moonlight, as you gaze about yourself at the gifts freely given, and you move out and into the night. I lay in the darkness amidst the whole of my prosperity. My attention is on departed dreams and the need for you to return to me to complete the fullness of my form, held open and empty while in paradise you rest. I
Anybody
have
want,
a, I
anybody
have a,
want,
go
anybody want
ahead.
to jump in now?
Yeah, there we go.
Comment, question?
I could close my eyes and picture what he's giving us. Beautiful.
Yes, he has a beautiful, vivid style. It's
And
like it's like
I
my diff TV.
Yeah, good.
I love whipped cream clouds. That was just delightful. Um, and and as a dancer, one of my favorite lines was beginning a new journey, a new dance to begin.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
I love it. Yeah. And then the I think I heard this right. I'm not sure, but dreams come like time blossoms.
Let's see.
It was in the second poem, I think.
Oh, let's see.
Oh, in this heavenly existence, time blossoms forth moment by moment.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
put dot, 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 a heartbeat at a time.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I put that in the chat.
right. Well,
Okay.
that's it.
Good. Thank
Okay.
you. And then there was another line that was so lovely, something about returning to me for the poem to be fulfilled, something like that in your
Yeah,
last
to complete my form.
Yes.
Yeah, it's supposed to show the difference. Here I'm laying in the room, partly miserable. And my wife, she's just so beautiful. I see her outside the window, outside looking at the moon, and it's kind of comparing one to the other. Like I should just get up and get outside with her,
Right.
So that was that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you and your wife teach at the same school?
No, she taught at Cosumnes River College an art history class for a little while, and then I taught for 30 years with Sac City Unified, about 28 years at the same school.
Mhm.
Wow.
So, yeah, I just retired in 2019. And I really loved it. I tell you, I couldn't have picked a better career, you know.
That's
So
beautiful.
yeah, yeah.
And, and isn't it wonderful that our possible new vice president was a school teacher?
Oh yes, I love that. I love
I
that. Yeah.
love that.
Okay, go for it.
Anybody else?
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I really didn't have anything to say. You want me to read another poem or two?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, sure.
oh, okay.
You betcha.
I
Lots
got a bunch. I
We're
was a
gluttons
little
for beauty here.
okay. This one's called "A Son of the Weather." Um, it was amazing. I felt kind of in a silly way. I felt so much power when I wrote this, thinking about tornadoes and storms and all that. I was really getting worked up by it, but it was so nice to just very peacefully put it on the paper, you know. So, anyways, it's called "The Son of the Weather." Who am I if not a son of the weather, a song sung by spring storms, heated up by the whisper of the coming summer? I am left vulnerable by the whispers of early spring winds and of the autumn breezes bound to blow every single straggling leaf from what is to become winter's tree. In these storms, am I not howling as trees are toppled and houses uprooted? Alleys of human creations are whipped through, letting the ominous bells of the natural world alarm us as to our transparency. These heated silences of summer found me sizzling with intention, baking with anger, and frustrated at the heat I cannot remove. Let me eclipse this boiling wrath as the moon does the sun, with no intention of allowing anyone even a glimpse of it. I shall bury it and burn away my interior. Warped with the freezing weight of winter, I find myself bent over and frozen, nailed to the ground on shivering legs, unable to feel or touch anything to my blue skin, my chill warning me there are places men should not go. Springtime in Tornado Alley, and I yell at the top of my lungs, piercing the ears of the farmers buried deep in concrete structures below ground. I will tear from this earth all that is standing in paths wide enough to dream a team of horses through, well chosen to the point that they who survive will attach divinity to my course, knowing I may return and snatch the life from them.
Wow.
Okay, this will tone it down a bit. This is called Redwood Woman. Thank you. It's more of a prose poem, so. In the early dawn, she rises, rinses her face, splashing cheeks, chin, and her inquisitive eyes with the cold, clear water. Vibrant, awake, and aware, she eases herself into soft clothes and takes the sage-colored cup, fills it with black tea, and heads off and into the forest. Inhaling the green of the trees, the scent of the earth and the dewy mist as it rises into the air, warmed and lifted to the day's clouds resting easily overhead. There, between the noble, lofty spires of the redwoods, she sees the slate gray underbelly of clouds slide by overhead. She settles into the comfort of a small, hollowed seat in the heart of a fallen tree, her favorite place in all the forest. Here, as though she is a newborn held tenderly in her mother's hands, as the energy of earth rises up through her, sealing the connection she has with all of life, all is well. Her spirit is comforted and held gently against the beating, silent heart of the land. She sips her tea, sets it on the cool ground at her feet, and begins her prayer for the earth.
I like that.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, this one, does anybody know about Marie's Donuts over on Freeport Boulevard? It's this about
Yeah.
on
Next to
yeah
Freeport
about
Bakery?
40 yeah
Yeah.
It's right next to it.
Mhm.
Yeah. When I was about, well, I was a teenager in high school, and we got to where we could stay out late on Friday, Saturday night. And this place they would start setting their new hot donuts out at about 3 a.m. So if you were awake at all, you would always head over there to get these beautiful hot donuts and pastries. So this one's called Tasting Sunrise. The morning finds me bathed in sunrise colors of orange and peach. Standing, I face these bakery windows clear and clean, chilled by this early autumn air. Shelf by shelf, sweet delights nestle next to one another. The warmth raises a mist upon the window facing me. Eclairs, cream puffs, brownies, and tarts drip fillings of cherry, apple, and raspberry, all familiar with the baker's tender touch. A bill exchanged, tarts rearranged, my lips, tongue, and teeth revel in their relief. Smells and textures dearly savored, these delights so sweetly flavored. Yeah.
Wow.
Damn, you're making me hungry.
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I'm
That's yeah.
trying to look for something. I don't know what.
Right, right.
Never met a carbohydrate I didn't like.
Yeah, here's to the diets that say carbohydrates are actually good for us. Okay, this is called Rain. And it was kind of inspired by when I was an elementary school teacher, and it was about to rain. The kids wouldn't get to go out to recess, but they would be out there before the rain started if it rained during recess, and you could just tell they knew that it was coming, and it was really kind of like a magical time for them. So I wrote this after being inspired by that. It's called Rain. Moments before the arrival of the first drops, the air changes. We sense the coming of the showers. Low, heavy clouds blanket us. Playground children pause, uncovering hints of the approaching rain as the first drops freckle the pavement. The tempo quickens. The drops plump up full and fat, dance across the earth, pelt the surface. Blacktops empty, sidewalks are abandoned. Clouds let loose sheets of water woven with millions of clear beads. We marvel at the abundance of water as it gathers into pool and puddles. The clouds rest in place, sit above the city. The downpour drenches everything under the wide, deep gray canopy the sky has become. Afterwards, the sun splashes through small windows. The downpour has deepened the color of the tree bark, brightened the greens of the grasses, refreshed the world. The underside of the roof the clouds became is mirrored in pools on spoony, shallow surfaces. Blue bits of sky greet curious eyes, peeping through windows to consider venturing out into the damp air. White spun puffs of cloud through gaps in the gray roof display mountains piled one upon the other. The heavens yearn for a peek of the world below. You guys want to talk about it for a bit?
Sure.
Okay, I'll get my chat on.
I don't know if my mic is on.
Yes, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah, I hear it.
You really got a lot of wonderful things into that poem. I could just ride along with it and experience the day, the weather, could see it, feel it, touch it, smell it.
Right.
Very, very good.
Thank you.
I can't think of anything you missed.
I would just read it a little bit more slowly
Oh, okay.
because it's
Okay.
your imagery is so beautiful. I want to hold on to it for a millisecond longer.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I can slow down.
And that's also great for those of us who use hearing aids.
Oh, right.
But I wanted to tell you that the description of the donut shop left my mouth salivating like crazy. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and
Okay.
also, I love when you said something about, inhaling the green of trees. And I thought,
Oh, yeah.
what a wonderful way to think of of how wonderful trees are, to inhale the green of the trees. It's
I got you.
beautiful. Right.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's nice.
um, your description of storms is just wonderful too.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, I've got let's see here, about 2 more. Does that sound all right?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, and I like to read about rain and winter and all that, especially in the summertime when we're baking we're baking outside. It's a nice way to sort of cool off. So this one's called Winter Trees. I wrote it one day when I was over at McKinley Park, with all the trees, and so beautiful there.
Mhm.
This is called Winter Trees. Here in this temple of trees, branches reach deep into the winter sky. Dark, tapering branches strike out against frosty nights. During the chill of mornings, the sun begins to throw its light onto the bare wood, casting webs of shadows upon the variegated carpets fallen leaves have woven over the earth. Hardy trunks have weathered seasons with deeply hidden green impulses, waiting for the warmth early spring days will soon begin to hint at.
Yes.
Mm.
Thank you. So that was better. Slowed it down, right?
Yes.
It was-
Good.
okay. Good. Okay, this one I wrote, I was in a writing class at City College, and it's funny, at the time it was supposed to be a little bit humorous, but now it's about the environment. Now it's getting to where it's sort of ominous because all the crazy things that are happening. Okay, this is called Those Damn Environmentalists. Black skies surround our dome, allowing rare glimpses of sun and moon. Inner lights create the skies of day and night. Seasons are only memories, tales told. Epidemics, loss of light, ravaging storms. The end of the land-based natural world drove the living into these clear bowls, where they were analyzed, categorized, and sorted for their role in these shiny upturned arcs. Thoughtless consumption and greed, two of the many instruments of our destruction. People drove their cars until they could barely breathe. Gunk puffed out of their tailpipes like fat cigarettes streaming smoke indoors. Destruction of the ozone led to biblical-sized floods, while Greenpeace Noahs, sad yet proud, arrived. Storms built up and ripped through cities like rats through a newspaper. Billions of we humans wiped off in a matter of years. 500 million now share the remaining land on our planet. A third of its pre-millennium size is the land. Postage stamp remains. Though there's beach for access for everyone, no one swims. Domes created by survivalists expand now like great clear balloons. All homes are now in skyscraper apartments. All parks are sacred. All animals are tame. Rainforest films and jungle photos show what once was beyond our 12-inch thick plastic bubble, covering us like plastic wrap over last night's leftovers.
Mm.
Each dome has its 8 acres, Each dome has its 8 square acre hybrid forest, its 20 square acre soybean field. Our astronauts now simply travel inside the dome. Their adventures are all within our artificial ozone. They plan to clear the skies. We'll start over, they say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What a picture.
Yeah.
Very cool. Mark and I were both latched on to the phrase like plastic last night's leftovers.
Yeah.
We both typed
Yeah.
it right after each other.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wow.
What poets have been influential for you?
Well, Langston Hughes was one of the first. I saw a big billboard when I was going to college, and it had his poem Dreams up there. And it was hold fast to dreams, for dreams die. Life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. And it just hit me. But I think and Walt Whitman, I never could concentrate enough to read through all of his poems, but the parts I read were so amazing, just beautiful. And Emily Dickinson, William Carlos Williams.
Mhm.
Remember his poem, Forgive Me, I Have Eaten the Plums
Yes.
That You Left. What a way to get out of sneaking food at night. Yeah, but basically those. And what really got me started was I had missed a class, a literature class, to earn my bachelor's degree, and I had no idea. I was sitting there. I got my diploma. I'm in my robe and cap, and I sit there and I open it up, and it says, "You need to do one more class." I quit. I quickly hid that because I was with my family, and I just took the class. It was during the summer, and the teacher was a writer, and he would have us studied out of like a Norton anthology, all these beautiful poems, and he would ask us to start writing, and I had never done it. And the fact that I could use my imagination on paper just sent this passion through me that has never stopped.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Any other thoughts or comments before we go to open mic?
I just want to say this is so comfortable. It's really nice, I appreciate you having me here to read.
I've been enjoying your poetry at the Heart Center just for quite a while. I'm so glad you came.
Great. Thank you.
I enjoyed listening to poetry, but my mind seems to be very slow. So unlike some people who can just seem to remember these lines and quote the beautiful things you said, I
Right.
try to jot things down, and even then I feel like I'm doing that, I'm missing something else. And
Yeah.
I never can absorb a lecture. I
Right.
almost have to read something and then read it over and over to really appreciate it and absorb it. I don't know if it's just I have a slightly dull brain or whatever, but I
Yeah.
I had that same experience when I'm listening to Shakespeare and watching Shakespeare. It's
Yeah.
like there's something goes by a phrase, I just go, wait a
Yeah.
minute, come back.
Right. Right.
I want to hold on to that for a moment.
Yeah.
And
I
I have to write notes to myself.
Oh, okay. I think it's always nice to have a copy of the poem in front of you, because I'm the same way. You see a little phrase, but you can't sit there and linger on it because there's another one coming.
Right.
But it's good to have this experience and to be aware of you and your writing. So I think we can follow.
Well, in the future, if you'd like, we can always, I could transfer control over to the reader, and then they can upload, share their screen. So it's possible for us to do that on Zoom.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm so glad you were able to make it. So do other people have poems or news to share?
I have one that I'd like to share.
Awesome.
I've never been published or anything like that. I was funny because when you asked him, how did he get started in poetry? I thought to myself, gosh, I don't know. I just started writing somewhere along the line, and I've been doing it I'm 82 now. So, I've been doing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this one is called Birthing the Work. They bravely come forth via mind-heart contractions, poems, stories, articles, legacies, part of ourselves, vulnerable in their newness, birthed onto the page. Enter critique group, small in number, mighty in intent, gently extracting what is not germane, like veritable word surgeons, pens and pencils, their surgical tools. Coming together like fresh mothers protecting newborns, we lay them willingly on discernment's table, subject now to accolades and slashes, better ready for presentment to the world. Each of us gets them, warm rays of praise, whipping winds of needed change. Babies and birthers, both developing, glad gifters of the written word.
Yes.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a poem.
Birthed on the page. That was beautiful.
I love the imagery about the or the metaphor of the surgery.
Right.
Surgery with
Yeah.
pencils and pens. That's awesome.
And protecting the newborn.
Mhm.
Yeah, you had a way of throwing out these 2, 3, 4 word phrases. I was trying to get one down for the chat, and I just couldn't because I got, surprised by the next one. And so you had a good way of doing that, keeping us involved in the listening. Because the writing it down for me, it had to come later. So.
Mhm.
I'm part of the group that goes to the senior center, the poetry group there, and the feedback that I get for the most part is you read so well. So I thought to myself, that maybe I've missed something in my life. I should have done something else, because that's the kind of feedback I get all the time. So, but it just comes naturally. So,
Yeah.
Good job.
I have a poem.
Sure.
Don't you just love blueberries? 35 years ago, we innocently planted blueberry bushes in our yard in 2 separate gardens. We were dubious. Would those 12-inch twigs ever produce berries? It was a slow start. Now we wish it had been longer. Each year now, the bushes still grow taller, wider, and produce more berries. We're never bored in summer because there are always berries to pick, clean, and freeze. Yep. Every summer, we don long sleeve shirts and jeans and head out to the picking patches, our buckled on buckets bouncing on our thighs. We get to enjoy the fresh morning air, listen to the birds chirping, and cars heading out down the road to exciting adventures while we pluck berries one by one, day after day, summer after summer, wallowing in our good fortune. And with the morning picking done, our afternoons are free to clean and freeze those precious orbs. It's a pattern with us now. Picking, cleaning, freezing, dreaming, and sometimes even eating berries. When we offer blueberries to our neighbors, they moan and shudder about their own berry abundance. At night, we stumble to bed, dream that blueberry season is over, only to wake up to a trip once again to the jungle. We tell ourselves how fortunate we are. All those blueberries packed with vitamins and good cheer. It is only deep in winter when scarfing down those steaming bowls of oatmeal topped with blueberries that one looks upon them kindly, appreciatively, forgiving them for their inability to trot into the house all by themselves.
Good.
I love wallowing in their goodness.
Yeah, we just got over more blueberry picking.
Oh, okay.
I wish I were your neighbor.
Some berries for sure.
I think it was nice. I think it was nice that there was time between when you picked them and canned them and all that, and then you ate them in the winter. So it was much easier probably to appreciate them after that little break, you know. Yeah.
You want to eat them after you've been picking them all day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mark, do you have one for us?
Yes, I do.
Awesome.
So, Mike, I really appreciate your technique of having poems that are so very descriptive, using the senses, and also help us tune into our own feelings and emotions
Oh, okay.
about those and the connection to the world around us. So I had come here hoping to do, one or two short, newer poems, but I'd like to do this poem for you instead, an older one, which maybe one or two people in the audience might remember. Road I Walk. The road I walk has a nest of turkey vultures in a tree between buildings and creek. They drag roadkill over to the lawn and munch on it over the course of several hours or days. Turkey vultures have nervous eye for humans and the passing vehicles that so unwittingly provide for them. They step back. They fly away to roof or tree and wait. Turkey vultures can get accustomed to a familiar human face and keep on eating. The road I walk takes me to the grocery store. It provides for me, and I place my selections first in cart, then on conveyor belt, and then into reusable shopping bags for the return walk home. Familiar faces greet me, and we might cackle and chirp for a minute. The road I walk has a beaten path with poppies and other short nectar pads surrounded by blades and clumps of grass. Honeybees and hoverflies like to land there, and I step carefully around them. If a hoverfly likes you, it will follow you. And I try to be a likable guy. The road I walk has plenty of shade on one side of the street or the other, depending on time of day, to drop heavy bags and rest, to watch a dragonfly ride the wind like a kite, to watch a squirrel crawl down from its peekaboo hiding place on a tree trunk and sit with acorn in its paws, spin it wildly while chewing away. A squirrel will politely let you watch it eat as long as you stand still. The road I walk eventually leads me back home, where I store my food in a refrigerator, toss a meal in the microwave, then sit at a computer and see pictures of birds and animals on the screen. But I tell you, it's just not the same.
Good.
Thank you, Mark.
Good.
Very good. Thanks, Mark. That was nice.
Really cool. I
You're
love
welcome.
the line
Yeah.
about the cars providing for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was a really nice narrative, very clever. I like that.
Thank you.
You know how you contrasted you going to the store with the roadkill, and it was really just a complete interesting of the human and the animals. These are the
Yes.
differences, you know. Yeah.
Mark
Yes.
comes from to us here from the East Coast.
Originally from California, but yes, in North Carolina now.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, Allegra, do you have one?
Okay. You know, um, I've been taking a class with Bob Stanley on some of the modern poets, and some of them, they're called the sound poets and this kind of thing. So I'd like to read a couple of short ones
Sure.
where sound is the essential element in them. And the first one is called Gathering Regrets. Grumbling grandmothers, mumbling regrets, gather within the guarded gateways, pasted, incongruous, in musty gradations, garnered, harvested, grounded in granaries, compounded with songs grouped in gardens of the guardians longing. And the next one is called Another Other Opens. Bring the opposition with optimum opportune moments, augmenting, assuaging doubters with armory of ostensible strength to oust with authority outmoded onus against women, occupy outright the power, the prestige of presidents.
Well, you just
And
went.
active,
Okay.
another other opens.
Could you read the last few lines, Allegra? You suddenly muted for a moment,
Oh,
for like about 3
all right.
seconds. It was weird.
So, women occupying outright the power, the prestige of presidency, answering the opposition, organic and active, another other opens.
Yeah. Very good.
I especially liked all your use of alliteration. I mean,
Mhm.
when you started right away, it was all in the G, letter G. Then I would hear it, you'd weave it again through a little later. It made it such a smooth sounding poem. It was really nice to listen to.
Good. That's wonderful. This has been an amazing afternoon with so many beautiful different voices to hear, and especially yours, Mike. It was just so wonderful.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have another one, Allegra?
What?
Do you have another one?
Oh, I always have lots of poems, but somebody else might have a turn first.
I have one from a while ago called Time Travel. From the next room, idle curse at her phone. For fuck's sake. A back window of waving trees. The color of the garage. Dog at my feet. Keyboard beneath my fingers. For a moment, I am home. The moment ends, and it's time to leave.
Oh, beautiful.
And this was one more recent one called Destination Joy. Fingers twine and intertwine, kisses deep and warm. Warm sighs pour in ears. Soft light wraps the pair with new strands of grace. Hope fulfilled. Yes, it is crazy. Finding love anew, the cove of solace.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Cold resolves. How beautiful.
What was the last line? Was it a cove of silence?
Solace.
Solace. Okay. Yeah, that was beautiful. That's about recent love or
Mhm.
love later in life.
Yeah, both.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Almost like saying it can happen again.
Yeah.
You know, like the reminiscence of it was a really wonderful memory for you.
Yeah. The other
Yeah.
one was went over to, I'm very good terms with my ex, but she wanted me to come over and install some antivirus software. And I was just sitting there and doing this, and I was staring at the color of the garage and remembered how we'd argued about what color to paint the house in the garage. And
Yeah.
dog was at my feet, and I could hear her, like, she was cursing at she was on hold with some, catalog company, and
Yeah.
it's just like a moment, slice out of time, and it was like suddenly it was time to go.
Yeah.
Anybody else have another poem to share?
I'll do another one.
Okay, great.
All right. This is an older poem. It's in one of my books, actually, but a river of words flows by. I hear the murmur of vowels, little spits of consonants in a language pleasing, though foreign to my ears. There's a house of cards at the river's edge with symbols beyond my ken. I see the cards building higher and higher, see them bend and sway with the wind. A flag flutters and falls, and the cards come tumbling down. A river of words flows by, minnows dart in and out, a vowel here, a consonant there, caught in their open mouths. They understand the river, a silent eloquence written with flashing tail. I must learn the art of fishing.
Well, thank you all. So we'll meet again next month. Frank Graham from SPA, and he's quite a poet. I think it'll be a wonderful event. So I'll see you again at 4:00. And we might my work schedule has kind of changed, with some recent changes in my life. So if another day works better than Sunday, we might even try experimenting with another day. And
Okay.
Bardan, I'd like to get her back, and I know this is not a great day for her, so we might do a special one coming with her. From she's either in Spain or Portugal at the moment.
I love Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
Is
How about
it
other people?
is it usually the fourth Sunday? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's usually the fourth Sunday.
Yeah. Well, it works for me, but I'm retired and I don't have much of a schedule, so I'm pretty flexible.
Okay. I know there were some other days.
Pretty soon when you're retired, you're busier than ever.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Well, thank you all, and thank you especially to our guest reader, Mike.
And thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
take care.
Thanks, Rick, for doing all this.
You bet. So I hope to see you next month. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.